Hey mathematicians, let's do your homework. All right, our homework should be on page 15. So it should start by looking like this. Let's zoom in a little. The perimeter of a triangle is 38 inches. Remember, to find perimeter, you are adding everything up. Two sides of the triangle are 12 inches and 10 inches. What is the side of the third side, or what is the length of the third side? So you've got a triangle, one side's 12, one side's 10, one side we don't know, but we do know what the perimeter is. I don't care so much about you writing your answer here, just find your answer and then circle it somewhere on the page. Monica made a list of the number of pages in the last 7 library books that she read. What is the interquartile range? You have a flashcard that tells you every step you need to know to find interquartile range. As I say that, I'm not 100% sure that tells you every step, but the first step is to find the median, and you do have a flashcard that tells you how to do that. And so you can look at both your flashcards to solve this problem. Number 3, a dime is what percent of a dollar? In case you do not know, a dime is 10 cents, and a dollar is 100 cents. Make that into a fraction, make that into a percent. Next page. Look at the rectangle made of red and blue tiles. What percent of the tiles are blue? To find the percent, you need the part that are blue out of the total number of tiles. And then you have to make it something equivalent out of 100. The front face of a cereal box is 10 inches wide and 14 inches tall. What is the area of the front of a cereal box? To find the area of a cereal box, which I'm guessing, because I've never seen a cereal box any other shape, is a rectangular prism. So the front face would be like only this flat rectangle. We're not talking about how much cereal goes inside it. We're just trying to find the area of that rectangle. And area of rectangle is length times width, or base times height. Again, I don't care about the griddable. You can just write your answer and circle it. Don't forget your units. And last but not least, which number is a rational number that is not a whole number? So remember, when we talk about whole numbers, integers, rational numbers, and we briefly talked about, even though we don't deal with in 6th grade, irrational numbers. Remember, irrational numbers are like the number pi, or when you try and divide something by 0 and you end up getting that error message on a calculator because it's impossible to split something into 0 groups. So those are irrational numbers. Rational numbers, every number we deal with in 6th grade. Fractions, decimals, negatives, positives, everything can be called a rational number in 6th grade. Not everything can be called an integer. Integers do not include fractions. They do not include decimals. And even though integers do include whole numbers, not every whole number can be an integer because whole numbers cannot be negative. So integers could be negative or positive, but whole numbers are positive only. Still following the rules of integers, no decimals, no fractions. So looking at A, that looks like a whole number. It's positive, it does not have a decimal, it does not have a fraction. B, positive, no fraction, no decimal. But both C and D look like fractions, but actually one of them is a whole number. So when you see fraction, you can't just be like, oh, not a whole number. You actually have to think about what the fraction is and think about 20 divided by 10. That simplifies to a whole number. That simplifies to 2. So even though it looks like a fraction at first, you can actually simplify it to be a whole number. Whereas in D, 24 divided by 5, you can put 4 groups of 5 and 24, but you're going to have 4 left over. So that will have a mixed number. It'll be a whole number plus the fraction or the decimal, however you choose to write your remainder. And those are not allowed to be called whole numbers. So D is the rational number that is not a whole number. It's also not an integer. It's only called a rational number. And now we're done with our homework.